Just moving on then, women's themes that need to have greater awareness in your opinion. What would you say about that?
Personally, I think that postpartum mental health is definitely still sadly seen as an area which is a real taboo, and back to the mum guilt of not being sort of 100% joyous and fully invested in parenthood as well. There's a lot of pressure, I think, for mums to be seen as perfect, especially on social media, living this ideal life, homemade meals, lots of baby cuddles and lunchtime dates with friends, and really that's not the reality for many women, and in my experience it can lead to real feelings of inadequacy. And other topics that I think could be talked about more is around birth and trauma surrounding birth, and also postnatal depression as well. And there is a lot of stigma. Surely when you've got, as long as your baby is happy and healthy, that's all that really matters. And really that's just not the case. And I do think that mothers need more support, and awareness will help with that.
I think the other thing that is just coming to forefront is some of the challenges women have, in menopause, and, some of the issues that people experience, certainly things like brain fog and forgetfulness, and, trying to continue to perform in the work environment when you're going through all of those hormonal changes. I know it's not a subject that's particularly spoken about, but actually I think it's becoming more and more apparent, and something that, we should all be aware of in terms of supporting females in the workplace.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And I think it requires those discussions and being open and honest with our employers and with our colleagues in order to start those conversations and create that openness.
And I think just by having this conversation, Jess, we're starting that. And I also think I really respect and admire you, because you do have those conversations, and you do bring up those perhaps difficult conversations that people don't necessarily want to talk about. But actually, unless we do, we're never going to change the stigma, are we?
Yeah, I don't think the people that I work with in the office really wanted to talk to me about where I was going to pump my milk with Pippa and for my baby, and where I was going to store it, and what it was going to be like to open the fridge and be faced with expressed milk. But you need to have all those sorts of conversations and those uncomfortable conversations in order to progress, don't you? So.
Absolutely. So finally, what role or impact would you like to play in relation to women's rights today and moving forward?
I really hope that I can and already do lead by example, as a co-parenting, breastfeeding mother, and I just mentioned who pumps milk at work. I hope that I'm setting an example to my daughter that women can be ambitious at work and also good parents. And personally, I think they're synergistic. If you're satisfied in your job, then it can make you a better parent, but also vice versa. And I think that's really important to demonstrate. So yeah, leading by example, I think, is the best way forward.
And Jess, I think you do that every day. So well done you. It's something that I absolutely strive for in terms of leading by example, and trying to empower people, male, female, whatever they are, to do the things that they can do and to really reach for the things that they can achieve. I think for me personally, how do I... what role do I play, or what impact do I have? I think for my children, I tell my girls every day they can be whatever they want to be. There's no barriers. They have the world as their oyster, and their only barrier is them doubting themselves, and just trying to give them that confidence, because I think social media and all of the imagery that's out there is so difficult for young women, especially in terms of them thinking they're not good enough, and I think that can be incredibly damaging. So just trying to encourage my girls that there are no barriers, they can do whatever they choose to do. And at work, being a leader at Delta Simons, I think that I have the ability to influence and to change things if they need to be changed, and open up the conversations to make sure that we're doing the right things for our people, and that feels very important for me, and something that I think about all the time. What can I do to make a difference? And I think that's really important. So hopefully that's interesting for people out there to hear our views, Jess, on kind of women in the workplace and at home, and also just kind of highlighting that it's International Women's Day next week. I think it's a really important day to recognise, and I've enjoyed our conversation, so thank you.
Absolutely. And yeah, happy International Women's Day.
Thanks, Jess. Take care.